Hey guys, check this out. We have a new Megalodon, which is a prehistoric shark to add to our sharks collection right here, okay? So we will unbox this and I will show you guys my entire collection of sharks. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. Alright guys, let's have a look at this new Megalodon, Autoder's Megalodon from Haolonggu, okay? So I actually purchased this myself. So hopefully this is a great figure. It is a beautiful figure, as you can see. Alright, from the packaging, it definitely looks fantastic. It comes with a stand. Do you guys know that Megalodons, they are actually prehistoric sharks and they look like great white sharks. So I definitely love them a lot. Do you guys love shark? Let me know down below, okay? So check this out, guys. It is a super cool looking shark right here. It comes with a movable jaw. And do you guys know one fun fact? When a Megalodon loses a tooth, it can actually grow back. Oh my goodness, that is just incredible. And right here, we have a beautiful stand. Wow, this one looks really good. How can we actually assemble it? I'm not too sure. Oh, I think I can just stand it like that. Wow, it looks amazing. Megalodons are actually one of my most favorite prehistoric sea animal. What about you guys? Let me know down below. Check this out. Really gorgeous one. Alright. Plenty of teeth. Wow, oh my goodness. It looks super terrifying. And speaking of terrifying, we have another one which is right over here. This is equally terrifying, if not even more terrifying. Megalodons are about 10 times the size of a great white shark, okay? Check this out. Okay, I have two boxes right here. I'm gonna be placing the bigger figures into the bigger box and a smaller box to put my other shark figures, okay? So are you guys ready? Let's do this, okay? This one right here is a very cool one. It actually comes with some articulation and of course you are able to move this one as well. So this is super cute. I love it. I also like this one, which I got all from like Toys R Us, you know, many years ago. This is a super cute one. Chomp. Extremely adorable. And what about this one? This one is actually one of the hideous looking shark that you can ever find. It's very scary looking. It is a goblin shark. This is how its mouth looks like when it's about to feed on its prey. So it will actually extend its mouth to look like this. So this is actually very terrifying. Goblin sharks can only be found in the deep ocean sea waters. And what about this one? Hammerhead shark. I've never really seen a hammerhead shark, you know, right in front of my eyes. You know, this is a really cool one, okay? What about this one? Another beautiful great white shark. Oops, the mouth came off. Can we just pop it right back? I think we should be able to do it. Oh my goodness. Poor shark loses his entire jaw. Okay, there you go. I think it's fixed. Not yet, I think. It's still kind of like loose. But it's fine. Okay, this one is the one that I really like the most because this is very realistic. It's from PNSO. I love this shark a lot. And what about this one? This is another goblin shark, but this one looks a little bit more dramatic. It definitely looks cuter in my opinion. Okay, next up, what about this one? Okay, this one is actually from my old collection. You can see it is totally beat up. Plenty of paint falling off, but it's okay. It looks like a shark that has endured several battles. And this one is a really nice one. It's a Megalodon. You can see it also has plenty of rows of teeth. I love it. How about this one? This one looks ferocious. It looks like it's gonna gobble you up like that. Ooh, oh my goodness. It looks terrifying. It's a nice one. What about this one? I'm not too sure what this is. Let's have a look. Isurus Oxyrhynchus. Wow, that is a very, I'm not too sure, very scientific name. It looks like a thresher shark. I'm not too sure what this is. Tiger shark. No idea what it is. If you guys know, let me know down below, okay? This is a beautiful hammerhead shark from 1991. Probably older than many of you guys who are watching this video right now. And here's another goblin shark. This is one of the scariest looking shark to me. How about this one? Does this look scary? Okay, this is actually a basking shark. It is actually not terrifying at all. It is a filter feeder, which means it only feeds on very small organisms, okay? So they basically take in the water and they filter out the food particles. So they don't eat other fish, those big fish, they don't eat them. So they're pretty harmless. And this is a tiger shark, which is actually one of the sharks that has a name which is related to an animal because it has tiger stripes on its body, so it's known as a tiger shark. Here's another basking shark right here with a huge mouth. And what about this one? This is actually a shark ray. Interesting one. And how about this one? Saw shark right here. Okay, sawfish. This is a beautiful sawfish. This one has got to be one of my latest figure and also one of my favorite ones. Goblin Shark 2022, a pretty new figure. I'm going to put this one right here because this is definitely one of my favorite figures. And this is a great white from Schleich. This has been with me for a long time. And here is another shark which is extremely hard to find, extremely hard to spot. The megamouth shark, which can only be found in the deep ocean seafloors. Extremely rare, okay? This one is a salmon shark. Because it has some spots on its body, I suppose it is a salmon shark. And here is another great white shark that was actually contributed to our collection by a Dan Safarian. Beautiful one. And what about this one? Oceanic white tip shark right here. Okay, you can see the tips of its fins are covered with like white spots. Very cool. And here we have another shark ray. This is quite a new figure. I mean, at least when I bought it. Okay, 2017 shark ray. Beautiful figure. And this is our one and only fruit shark. Also extremely rare. It is in fact one of the sharks with the longest history. And here we have a hammerhead shark baby. And yeah, they have actually created this as a baby, but it looks pretty big to me. Okay, next up, let's see what else we got. We have another hammerhead shark, but this is actually known as the scallop hammerhead shark. So it has some patterns on its hammerhead as compared to the other hammerhead sharks, which is flat like this. So it has some curves and bumps on its body, on its head. And this is a regular hammerhead shark. So they can actually use their head to pin down its prey. So for example, it is going to eat on a small little fish. Just imagine this is a small little fish. Just pin it down onto the ocean seafloor and just chew on it. Very, very cool. Okay, next up, we have another beautiful shark ray, I think. Angel shark right here. Yep, angel shark. It definitely looks like a shark ray to me. And this one is actually a gray reef shark. Beautiful one. What about this one? This should be a great white from Schleich. Extremely cool. And here we have another salmon shark right here, which has some patterns, some spots on the underneath of its body. So it's very cool. This one, it's a mako shark. It is a very fast swimming shark right here. It is slightly blue in color, which brings us to the fact that, you know, it looks kind of similar to the blue shark, but not exactly related. So this is the blue shark. The color is blue in color. It's beautiful. What about this one? This one is actually known as a zebra shark, or you can actually call it a leopard shark. They are both the same. The patterns on this body could be stripes, it could be spots, and they will actually change as they grow. So you can call them a leopard shark, or you can call them a zebra shark. They are totally the same. Here's another one, which should be known as a zebra shark because it has more stripes as compared to spots. So here we have a mini tiger shark with some stripes on his body. Very cool. Okay, next we have another hammerhead shark right here, and this hammerhead is actually quite different to the previous one. Okay, you can actually see its skin color is actually different. So I call this like a sand hammerhead shark. Beautiful one. And here we have another sawfish or saw shark. You can actually call it two names. Sawfish. So this is actually like a saw-like tool that they can use to actually slice up their prey, the little fish. They can slice it up, or they can use it to kill it before eating them. So it's a very, very interesting shark, that's for sure. And here we have another tiger shark. Beautiful one as well. Let's see what else we've got. This one right here, it's a bamboo shark. You can easily recognize it by its patterns on its body. It also has two fang-like structures in front of its mouth. Very interesting. And this is a short Dolphin Mako shark, which is a very fast swimming shark for you. Okay, and here we have another zebra shark right here. You can also call it a leopard shark. And here we have a black tip reef shark right here. It doesn't have the name written right below because it is from Papo, and Papo doesn't really have names for the fish. This one I am not exactly sure, so if you guys know what this is, you can definitely let me know down in the comment section below. And this one, it's a wobbegong, which is a kind of carpet shark that lives at the ocean seafloor, on the ocean seafloor. And here we have one which looks a little bit similar to the bamboo shark. As you can see, they both have two fang-like structures in front of the mouth, but this one doesn't have any patterns. And this is known as a nurse shark right here. Okay, interesting one. A mini sawfish, as you can see. And here we have another wobbegong. This one, I'm not exactly sure what type of shark it is, but I'm calling it a salmon shark. Possibly a salmon shark. Megamouth shark, the one that I told you guys that you can only found in the deep ocean seafloor. Okay, and here's another one. Is probably a bull shark, not exactly sure. Scallop hammerhead, another really beautiful one. And what is this? Sand tiger shark. It is perhaps one of the most ravenous looking, most terrifying looking of all sharks, but it is actually extremely shy and extremely timid. It is not as ferocious as the bull shark or the great white. And here we have a bull shark right here. Okay, and here another great white shark. This one is a very interesting sculpt. They have actually crafted the eyes to be really big and huge. Very, very scary looking, that's for sure. We have a white tip reef shark. Previously, I've shown you guys an oceanic white tip shark, but this is a white tip reef shark. Zebra shark right here as well, or you can call this a leopard shark. This one I call it a ghost shark. I think someone actually told me it's a ghost shark. This one looks like a hammerhead shark, but it is actually a bonnet head shark right here. Bonnet head shark. The hammer is actually way shorter than the regular hammerhead shark. And a couple of mini sharks right here. This is probably a blue shark. This is probably a great white. And this one is the black tip reef shark right here. We have two black tips reef sharks. And this is a shark ray, beautiful one. And this is a great white, gorgeous one. Zebra. This is a thresher shark. You can easily recognize this by its very long whipping tail. So it can actually stun its prey by whipping out its tail. So it basically use the tail to whip out and the fish will actually be stunned. Very, very interesting. A couple of other mini sharks right here. This is probably a megalodon. A mini hammerhead. This is probably a great white. Mini sawfish. Extremely adorable. A great white, I suppose. This is a lemon shark. It basically gets its name based on its color. The color is slightly yellowish, so it's known as the lemon shark. Lemon shark, I beg your pardon. Lemon shark. A couple of other sharks right here. This is a whale shark. Interesting. Hammerhead. Another great white. Black tip reef shark, I suppose, because of the black tips it has. And this one I have no idea. It's probably a bamboo shark, or it could be a nurse shark. And I have a beautiful diver right here. And these two are probably my favorite figures in the collection. The new Megalodon from Haolonggu, and this one which is a beautiful goblin shark from Collectate. I love these two figures. So I've basically shown you guys my entire sharks collection. We still have some gashapons of course, but these are some of the coolest figures that I can show you guys for now, okay? Hopefully you guys like it, and let me know down below in the comment section below what are the collection videos you guys want me to make, and I'll be happy to do it, okay? I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.